Peace, family. You know, I don't usually shoot these videos before I go into work, but I was riding in today, and I was listening to the Breakfast Club interview when they was talking about Bill Cosby's daughters. You know, they released a statement to the Breakfast Club talking about the innocence of their father, or the supposed, alleged innocence of their father. Now, you know, and so they posed the question, do you think Bill Cosby will be able to get a a fair trial, being as though that he's already perceived as being guilty in the court of public opinion? And has this coverage been different based on race? So it absolutely has been treated differently based on race. There's no doubt about that. The shows being pulled and all the other things that happen. You look at the Ben Roethlisbergers and the other white men, you know, that have been found guilty, or, you know, that have been accused of sexual assault. You know what I mean? Of course, they have been treated differently. Almost everything that happens in this country, and some element is based on race to some degree. The way it's handled, the way it's perceived, the way it's treated, so forth and so on. And not to dismiss any of the allegations that the females made against him. And to Angela Yee's point was that, you know, it's 57 women or 37 women. Everybody always make up this number when people say, okay, what's the proof? They always say these number of women. But if you look at some of the interviews that his previous lawyer did, when you start talking about the number of women, some of these claims by these women were that he bumped up on them, or he rubbed me the wrong way. So, you know, some of it is actual bullshit. So you can't really say all of these women with similar stories, because the stories are not similar. That's bullshit. And all the claims are different. Like I just said, some of the women even saying, when we was taking a picture, he was too close to me. You know what I'm saying? Which is some bullshit. And another point, so let me stay to that point for a second. So when people keep saying it's all of these numbers, all of these women, all of the situations is different. And the reason why the media want to keep putting the narrative out that the stories are similar is because they want to lynch him in the court of public opinion. And that part is based on race and maybe some other things that he done pissed some other people off. Now, I don't feel sorry for Bill Cosby, but I'm just looking at it from the perspective of a black man. Do I think he was doing some freaky shit? Do I think he had some different shit going on? No doubt. I think, this is my opinion, I could be wrong as well, he was into shit with drugs and women, and he was paying them to take pills and do shit like that. He was doing freaky shit. I think most of the shit was consensual, but maybe sometimes it wasn't, or maybe sometimes it went too far, or maybe sometimes he just actually did the shit. And then he paid some of these women to keep quiet about it. And to be honest with you, not a lot of them, even some of those cases, those women were paid off and shit. And then that goes into another issue. Well, if they accepted money and kept quiet about this shit, is, you know, how is that? Is he still guilty if they accepted money? So, I mean, that's a whole nother issue. But I think, for me as a black man, you know, the same thing about how, you know, the race part of it, because he's a black man with money, power, stuff like that, and how he's being lynched now. The legacy is being lynched all these years later. You know, and another point was made was that, do you really think that a black man, no matter how much money he had, and especially during these times, 50s, 60s, 70s, whenever he was doing this shit, a white woman could have said anything and that motherfucker would have been found guilty. He would have been caught up, and you know, he would have been arrested. And you know, so I don't buy the fact that, you know, these white women didn't feel like they could come forward because he was a man of power and money. He was a black man in America. I don't give a fuck how much money he had. If he was raping all of these white women during these times, there's no way in hell he wouldn't have been brought to justice. So that part just seemed kind of fishy to me. Now, on the other aspect, we do know when females get violated in that way, sometimes it is hard to come forward. It's hard for them to reveal that these things have happened to them. It's embarrassment, it's shame. There's a lot of things that come with that situation. So you also cannot discount that part. As far as what's happening he's been lynched in the court of public opinion. He's guilty according to the public. You know, the book is closed on that. He will not get a fair trial, you know, because everybody who has any kind of access to anything media already knows that he's guilty. Because they keep throwing this big number of women out. All of these women. And like I said before, when you actually go through case by case, the numbers of actual rape claims, the number goes down a whole lot. So, you know, somebody definitely is behind this, that ginned up this type of, this number of women and to bring up all these dirty allegations and, you know, all that kind of shit to make it, you know, to create the environment of guilt around him to try to then go ahead and take him down all the rest of the way. Like I said, I don't feel sorry for Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby has won around saying crazy, talking a little bit reckless out his mouth about so-called black people. And he's also done some good things. He said good things about different things that's going on. You know, and some of the things I agree with him 100% on about, you know, taking personal accountability in our communities. I agree with him 100% on that. I think sometimes maybe he talked a little bit reckless with some of the shit he said. I mean, some of that you could attribute to old age, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's his own man. You know, that's his life. He did what he did. It is what it is. So I'm not really saying he guilty or innocent, but what I'm saying is race is playing a factor in the court of public opinion and how the case is being handled. There's no doubt about that. Shit that's supposed to be sealed by grand jury fucking documents, now all of a sudden is getting leaked and popped open when the shit is supposed to be sealed, not to be opened again. So, I mean, get the fuck out of here. That shit is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. This is the land that we live in. So, I'm out. It's your boy. Peace.